We're live.
Hola, Matthew. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. If you guys are new here, don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K. Right. Pick up our sponsors, Manscaped. Go check them out. LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping on manscaped.com. The pioneers of below the waist grooming for men. Go check them out. Also show some love to our partners, Fanatics, official partners of Real Madrid and La Liga, probably the biggest sports apparel collection online. Also, if you guys didn't know, now you know this podcast and everything on LBR is officially sponsored by Talksport Fan Network, powered by the fans. Right, Farooq. I know I hate to be here at this hour. You hate it even more. What is it? 12:30 over there, Farooq. We have better things to do than talk about a game that had nothing to do with extra time. Right, had no business being stretched out to 120 minutes. Um, it's on everyone. It's on Carlo. It's on the players. It's on um, the way we handle things, especially to see out games. We didn't start well. We didn't end well. I mean, in like at least for the regulation time, yeah, we kind of turned it around. Obviously, if you throw in assets worth 60 million, one after the other, something will stick eventually. But the score line is something, some sort of an enigma, right? Like it doesn't really stand for anything apart from, yeah, like we move on to the next round. On probably another night we would be sitting here glowing, praising these players for a big comeback and some of those individual moments. But yeah, man, talk to me, Farouk. What's your feeling like? Where's your heart at 12:30 Thursday? Is it I mean, Friday morning?
Yeah, man, it's very unfortunate, as you said, like, it was a game that had, no business going to 120 minutes. It was a game that, we're speaking with Jacob during, I think it was just yesterday about that. Okay, this is a game
Yeah.
that we can use, to kind of regain some confidence with the, with the players and what is not. But if anything, this question actually raises, this game raises more questions than answers. It's
Yeah.
quite unfortunate, as you said. You watch the whole game, and as you rightly pointed, it's not just something that you can pinpoint to the players alone. It's the players and the coaching staff and the management as well. But it's just a
Yeah.
combination of all three, and it's just becoming a recurring theme. And I tell you, man, like if this was a away game, we were totally out. If this was a away game, we would have been knocked out. Honestly, it's a home game with child. As you also pointed, like when you have
Mm.
the strength that you have on the bench. Okay, yeah, like maybe they might not be in the best of form since in terms of
Yeah.
Hendrick and Arthur Güler, but like these are
Mm.
highly talented players. As also eventually when you throw them on, something's can happen. Federico Valverde, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo. So yeah, these are these are players that when you throw them on, of course, like they are bound to make something happen eventually one way or another. But like yeah, this game definitely definitely nothing to write home about. It's a very very unfortunate game, and even the scoreline looks super flattering. Like it's flatters Real Madrid a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the way we started the game, right? Let's get the negatives out of the way because it's going to be the major part of what we're going to break down, and we're going to make this quick. Like I have no time for these shenanigans that our team usually throws about during early Jan, Feb, uh, every year. But this year, compounded by what we have been already watching this team put out on a weekly basis ever since the start of the season, it really is time for us to think, where do we stand, behind um, behind this management, and like we could go either way, whether it be pro Carlo or anti Carlo or pro board or anti board. There clearly has to be some something to something given come the end of the season, because at this rate, against a weakened Celta side, having a keeper that is renowned for having had losses on a regular basis, we just looked like we couldn't string a couple of decent plays together. Farouk, if you remember, in the opening 15-20 minutes, Mbappe probably had his first touch, at the 10-minute mark. This is at home against Celta. This isn't against Man City. This isn't against Bayern. This is a team, despite what 11 we put out, is expected to handle business. Like a routine match day. And we just struggled. Like whether it be due to something mental, especially considering the harsh uh, levels of booze that has been subjected towards Carlo, some of the players and whatnot, also the classical loss kind of lingering in their minds. But Farouk, talk to me about the reception. Let's get it out of the way. I mean, let's rip off the band-aid. Is it a good time for self-reflection, or do you think it is a bit harsh on these players and management who won a double, and a very sensational one at that, just 7-8 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, we can't rely on past glory. I mean, it doesn't matter if you win a treble or double or whatever it is. Like you're
Mm.
here this season and now. The point is, if you play like shit, you get knocked out for all the tournaments. So who cares who?
Yeah.
A new champion is going to be selected. So who cares like what you've done last year or just yesterday? These are all
Mm.
past tense. Like we have to talk about the here and the now. And what we're seeing right now, there is absolutely nothing. As you rightly pointed, we watched this game for the first how many minutes, and like there is literally not just how many minutes for the whole game. Like there is an absolute zero verticality in this team. We all have
Yeah.
sideways passing. Like we're trying to even when they equalize, we're trying to find the goal. We still see like we are still having to pass the ball back to Lunin.
Yeah.
We're trying to win the game, but we are passing the ball back to Lunin. Like there is absolutely no verticality in this team. There is no one that and it's unfortunate. Like when you look at the people that actually played the passes this game, it's Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe. These are the people that are supposed to be on the receiving end of these balls.
Mm.
But they're the ones who actually play these searching balls. So like, who's gonna play what? Who's gonna receive what? So it's quite unfortunate, the way that this team is playing. And you just see like, you end up with Asensio and Rudiger just hitting the balls over the top and hoping that something happens.
Yeah.
Something like that. But it's really unfortunate. Like until and unless we have
Mm.
someone who can find those passes. We have a way of playing through a certain kind of press.
Yeah.
Then there is no way forward. Right now, literally, the only thing is when we are being pushed. I mean, Celta, it's Celta. It's not like honestly, it's not like this is a pressing monster. It's not like Liverpool, or City or Barcelona. Like it's Celta.
Yeah.
They're pressing us, and we're going back to ruin. Like we can't even play through.
It's crazy, Farouk. Celta's press was effective. Let's give them some credit, but the way we crumble under any ounce of a threat due to some effective just simple two-man press, and we just lack any balls to play the ball through the press. It's like we rely on some divine intervention like we do in big games to carry us through mid games like these, Farouk. It's very concerning because the least I expect of Carlo is to not envision a plan that would change, timelines, change, the course of football, right? We like that's not the expectation. The expectation, the bar is on the fucking floor, right? It's to see off games like these at home. I mean, we are not. Let's not um, let's not kid ourselves, right? Like we are starting Mbappe, Vinicius up top. If this was Hesse, Morata, and someone from the academy, it's okay. It's understandable. These guys are probably playing together for the first time. They would be rusty. It's a big ask. But with the 11 we have, no matter what the instructions or tactics are, if there is any, the performance that we see should be miles ahead of what they're trying to achieve. Players, like you said, verticality is one thing. Then the other thing is just playing basic football, right? Like not even being super penetrative with every single ball, but at least players moving into position when something opens up. Everyone is so stationary. It's almost like they rely on something to happen in order to wake up. Like the prime example was Endrick. It just bleeds through the team. Like up until he scored the goal, like he is so shy at making runs, so shy at being proactive positionally. That's what happens with all of our players. Mbappe, you look at Vinny, everybody is on the on the edge of something waiting to happen, not being the focal point of it. Like up until we score the goal, let's be honest, we looked like we would never score, Farouk. And it came out of, like you always say, something sensational from Mbappe. Like, how long are these moments going to keep bailing us out? Like, I understand that in the Champions League, if this was in the Champions League and we won, like I would be completely over the moon, and my emotions would take control over my thought process, and I wouldn't be so harsh. But this is against Celta. Like I really can't back this football or this management when you have performances like these. Where does the bleeding stop? Like I don't understand this season. Like I don't want this season to be a write-off, but the more we see evidence of these players trying to play ponderous football, like I don't know what else to predict come May, June. Like is the Real Madrid DNA enough, Farouk?
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I do think even like as you said, like we still want this. We still, I mean, the goal Kylian Mbappe scored, like it was a goal that should not be scored. Like it was one. He looked up. There was no one. Like there wasn't. There, I mean, he had no business scoring that goal. That's the thing. Like
And
it
the
was a
keeper, do
mistake
you
of him.
do you think he was a bit iffy
Nah, I don't
positionally?
think I don't think anyone stops that, man. The venom on the shot was phenomenal. Like I don't think anyone stops that.
Fair
But the
play.
point is like it's he shouldn't he has no business scoring that. So again, moment of individual brilliance, ISO football. So this is the thing, like this is what this happened for Carlo for the past 2, 3, 4, 2, 3 years. Like this is what he's always relied on, and the players will always come in clutch as long as they're being put into positions to play best football. But the point is that I think for the first time, even the season after the whole Benzema Euroleagues and the Ballon d'Or, like we had a dip in form, when we lost 4-0 at Etihad and all that. But it
Yeah.
wasn't this bad. It wasn't this bad, honestly. Like, okay, people still point out, okay, yeah, we're still like 1 point away from the top of the league. We're still like, in the playoffs of the Champions League and all that. But like right now, you look at these games and like even when we were winning 2-0, like you still didn't feel confident. You still feel like, oh, there is a goal to be conceded here or there. You understand? Like as you
Yeah.
mentioned, like I find it difficult to look at a game and you see 8 out of 11 players being absolutely shit. It's like crazy. Honestly, it's really like it's something that you just cannot justify. Okay, like one person can be bad, two people can be bad, three people can be
Yeah.
bad, but like when 8, 9 people are being bad at the same time, like it's absolutely shocking. It's a
Mm.
home game in the round of 16 of the Copa del Rey. Okay, yeah, the Celta is La Liga team and all that, but I mean, it's also this is Celta without the talisman Iago Aspas as well. So it's quite interesting, what this thing is showing right now. Like I don't know till what extent like this heroism can bail us out. But right now the point is that even we're gonna reach a point where it's not gonna be enough anymore.
Farouk, I'm
Honestly,
rushing home from work. You are staying up after work, right? For all this shit, right? When we're tuning in, we are almost being kind of we have to almost take up the roles of paparazzi at this point, keeping track of who is getting booed and how many times, and who was booed first and who was booed the most. Our club is basically ran through the mud at this point. It just is appalling. Like I've never seen our club be the talking point of such lowly performances. Like in my lifetime, like I know 18-19, there is a caveat, right? There's a clear caveat there. It was a huge transition season. We can basically attribute that to underlying factors like multiple coaches being fired throughout the course of the season, no
yeah,
recognized front line to back any sort of cohesion. But this side has enough experience, enough grit, enough backbone to put out better performances. um like I think this bleeds from the management, right? Like over the course of us doing this, Farouk. You have always mentioned, Carlo basically lets his players do the talking. Finally, I might have to agree when you have said these players who clearly haven't done much in life nor football, right? They aren't really mature yet to do all by themselves. Probably needs a better voice, a better setup to excel. Because at this point they are looking for guidance. That's what I think happens on the pitch, because everybody's looking towards someone else to guide them to victory. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the more I see Carlo, he is looking like he has lost the plot. I've no idea. I have no idea how he'll survive this season. To be honest, I would never have anticipated the season to go the way it has been panning out. But you have told me unless something catastrophic happens, he's never getting sacked. But at this rate, we are getting spanked by some big sides back to back. Probably not even making it out of the playoffs in the Champions League, and that is reason enough, in my books and in so many people's books, because the people turning up to games, they are watching the same shit. The
Yeah,
results, they are going to fade, Farouk.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. But again, honestly, I just feel like, the star power you have with Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe will, always find a way to, like, kind of negate that a little bit, But again, like, the point is, at a certain point, it's not going to be enough. You're going to come up against, a team that's, just stronger on that night, and it's not going to be enough. And maybe, yeah, it might lead to a catastrophic result, especially, when we consider the backline we have. It's always an accent waiting to happen. So this is also the thing. It's like, it is that. But again, as I said, like, you look at the goal that Kylian Mbappe scored. Look at the chance he created that led to the Brahim assist to Vinicius. Like, these are moments of individual brilliance. These are moments of really top class players. You understand? So for this reason, I do feel like, yeah, there is something there. But the interesting thing is, you rightly pointed out about the 18-19 season when we went three coaches, if I'm not mistaken. We went through three coaches that year. And then I went to two coaches, and then Zidane came back at the end of the season. So I think we went to three coaches, if I'm not mistaken, that year. So the point is this. Carlo has been doing this for how long now? This is his fourth season. You understand? So this is his fourth season, and basically more or less the same set of players, and he still cannot pass across the information to them. Then there is a problem somewhere. You can understand, you can accept if there is a new coach, like it's a transition season. You have 5, 6, 7 new players coming in, all that. It's understandable, But this is someone that has been with the same number of players for the past 3, 4 years, and you still cannot pass information to them. So it's one of two things: either information is not being passed across, or information is not being passed across clearly. And I actually prefer the first option, because if information is not being passed across clearly after 4 years of working together, then there's a big problem. So I would rather prefer to choose the option that information is not even being given at all. Players just go there and do their freestyle thing. But the point is this, actually, it's really, really, I'm going back against it. Like, we considered, I think, a penalty in the 89th or 88th minute, whatever. We had 5 minutes added, right? 5 or 6 minutes, I can't remember, whatever it was.
5 minutes, I think. I don't remember.
It was 90 plus 1, Sunay. We have the ball. These guys are pressing us. Camavinga has the ball. He gives it back to Tchouaméni, who gives it back to Asensio, who gives it back to Lunin. Bro, what the hell? We have a turnover. When we have a turnover, Celta Vigo gets the ball. Mingueza has the ball. Mingueza plays the ball to Eli Moriba. Eli Moriba plays the ball to the guy on the wing. I forgot the name. Like, Mingueza, Eli Moriba are able to find vertical passes. You're telling me Camavinga, Tchouaméni cannot find vertical passes? Like, bro, what the hell? Like, they're literally turning back and passing the ball, Camavinga to Tchouaméni to Asensio to Lunin. Like,
Farouk, like, I'm with you tonight, right? Carlo clearly is out of ideas, but bro, what Camavinga did is a criminal offense.
I mean,
he's in no position to play that pass.
This is a crime that is punishable, death by fire in squad. Honestly, like that.
It's not on Carlo. It's on someone's fucking brains being turned to rot.
Like, it's not just an individual situation, but we look at the game as a whole. Like, this is everyone takes the blame somewhere, but for this game, as you said, the Kamavinga pass absolutely should never happen.
Cruising. We're seeing the game out.
Absolutely
Nothing.
should never happen. This
Nothing to do but, sell Chouameni the right pass, or completely abandon that option, put it to the wing, or just, I don't know, man. He should be doing so much better. These guys are at this point in their career seasoned players, right? If this was Kamavinga's first season, we would understand. If this was his debut, or the week after his debut, we would understand. Oh yeah, like he's feeling the nerves. But come on, man. Like honestly, like how can you back that decision? How can you back it? And the Asensio thing, people were getting behind that decision as well. Like why would you barge into a player who is going nowhere, right? Like that is bought, like in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that's bought out by his uncertainty. His uncertainty whether this guy, like if he manages to knock the ball past him, or beats him, it's a pretty uh dangerous situation for them to capitalize on. So he, in my opinion, is hung out to dry again by the wingbacks. Lucas Vasquez, Farouk, Carlo should know. There is a reason why he got booed, right? You can't start Vasquez after what we saw in the Clasico. Give the youngsters a chance. Call someone up, play him instead of Vasquez. The Copa del Rey is a write-off. How many years have we gone on without absolutely doing anything in the cup? No one cares about it. Might as well give someone the platform to build some sort of confidence. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing in training, man. Like I've absolutely lost all faith. Like I know this may sound surprising to many, but I'm just analyzing this game in its capsule just for tonight, like in isolation. Like how can you come away from that game and judge Carlos' experience starting Vasquez again? I mean, keep him in the shadows. Pull him out of the heat. He deserves a lot more respect. The way his touches were getting booed, I felt sorry for the man. He won his undecima. Let's be honest. He kick-started the whole title celebrations right from his first pen. We ought to show this guy some respect. Like he's being played out of position. We will reserve him. We will need him. If we have to win something major, we'll need Vasquez's services to win something major. Play Aguado. I know Aguado hasn't been tearing it up in Fabrica, or hasn't been exactly, like glittering performances even against Minera, but do something different, man. Come on, like you have to show the people, that you're trying to bring in some sort of an evolution in a season that is crying out for it. I'm done,
Yeah, man.
Farouk.
I mean,
We have to
I
keep
don't,
this
I
short.
don't, I don't think this is what Carlo does. This is just the truth. Like the Carlo is
Mm.
just not that kind of person. Even yesterday, when we were speaking with Jacob, I also was expecting, like Aguado to start ahead of Lucas Vasquez, but Lucas started. And again, for me, Asensio, I felt was really good tonight. He conceded the
Mm.
penalty, but I feel like I wouldn't blame him for that. This is what exactly I was saying to Jacob, is that like with Asensio, like I'm not gonna like judge him on anything. He just comes, he's a center back, and
Yeah.
because of that, at least for me, he's better than feeling Tchouaméni in that role. And as we saw today, like he was just doing his no nonsense clearance, and one of those
Yeah.
no nonsense clearance led to a penalty, because it was, in my opinion, it was a very rash challenge. It was a
Hmm.
very, very rash challenge. But this is the thing, as Carlo said 2 days before, this guy's always been with the first team for only 2 months. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's a seasoned professional. So you're going to expect this kind of errors from him.
But the maturity still he showed, Farouk, even in this game, was commendable.
Of course, like, but then with the maturity also comes with the concession of the penalty as well. So this is just the point, like I'm saying,
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
for this, what you see is like he's still a very raw and very rash player as well. It's not like this is a complete seasoned professional that you can, expect all of this from. Like he conceded the penalty, it's fine, as you mentioned. Like it wasn't his fault, like because he was left to hang dry and he felt like there was no other option than the last ditch tackle. So the timing of the tackle, and I felt like it was a very rash tackle as well. But in my opinion, he was really good today. He was really good as a centre back. But he was left. He was isolated, and he was left to fend for himself. So this is the thing, that you come to expect of, these players that have literally zero experience. So this is, if I have a, Champions League game against Man City now, I also would prefer him to start ahead of Tchouaméni as well. But the point is, I also put in the back of my mind that he's also going to be, you will have that, rash moment, or like, moment of indecision, as you just said, that's going to be with him as well. So that's the thing. So until and unless the club decides to provide Carlo Ancelotti with a more senior centre back, there is nothing to do. It's either Tchouaméni plays or he plays. This is just the unfortunate truth about it.
Well, I have to big up the kid. I know the penalty decision is going to be talked about, and like you said, rightfully so. It kind of puts a slight blemish on his otherwise flawless performance. I thought he went into challenges assured. He won the ball cleanly. Like you mentioned, also his no nonsense aspect of his defending is a huge asset where some of our players can learn from that. Also his long ball abilities is turning out to be a hit. People are warming up to that, and it seems like
I'm not sure, man. I just feel like it's just something of kicking the ball and hoping for the best. Like, I mean, there is.
But he has some range of passing with that.
Yeah.
I would like to stress that. But
I
I
mean,
get Farouk's concern.
It's the same thing that Rudiger has been doing all season as well. He hits.
I know, but Rudiger
He hits.
Rudiger has done. I agree, but Rudiger has done this at the top level for a long time. Asensio is sort of a fresh, a fresh specimen in that regard, in the sense that he has just stepped up to the mantle, was a rotational option at Castilla, and now he's kind of living his dream. I hope this continues, and many people would say,
man, I hope it doesn't continue, man. Come on, bro. Like, I mean, I really do hope we get, even if it's Laporte, man. Come on, like, I mean, I don't want to go into a Champions League semi-final and starting Asensio alongside Rudiger, man. I mean, let's
I completely
like,
understand. Like, I was just referring to his dream, getting to continue in the sense that obviously we even get someone.
I'm not a fan of Barcelona where they blood the youth players, man. We're here to win games in Champions League, man. Like, I mean, with all due respect to Asensio, I hope
this is a fucking scathing review of someone who
played
his hearts out. But
we need to get a centre back, man. Asensio can go, somewhere with a buyback clause to do the Carvajal route. And
Farouk, do you know why I am speaking like this? Because you know it, I know it. Everybody who is going to tune in know this. We are never signing anyone in Jan. Like, I don't think so, honestly.
What happened to David Alaba, actually? Like, he wasn't in the squad today. Do you have any idea why?
I have no idea. I have no clue. But apparently, he is slowly getting back to his, game sharpness level. At least, so it should be only a matter of time. Probably come mid-Feb, we might see some minutes being, given to Alaba. But yeah, signing Laporte is never going to happen, Farouk. Let's be honest.
I know. It's going to be very difficult.
But yeah, the big up Asensio though. I was happy. I was happy with the performance. But yeah, quickly, Tchouaméni, nice bounce back, Farouk, in my opinion. I think he led the team in recoveries tonight.
I don't think so, man. I feel like it was an improvement. It was an improvement. So, but the point is, like, there's still a lot of comment back from Tchouaméni, honestly.
He got booed. He got booed heavily also. But yeah, a couple of decent switches of play. Had a long shot. Tchouaméni, I think, did okay. I didn't find any reasons to lose my head. So I guess my bar is low again with him. But I get where you're coming from, Farouk, 100%. Also quickly, some people were saying, Mbappe, despite him having a very slow start of the season, still has 16 goals, right? Some keyboard menaces on Twitter, especially, they were saying, Vini's best season is being overshadowed by an underperforming Mbappe. How would you react to that?
How is this Vini's best season?
Last season, or the year before.
Oh, right. I get what you're saying. And I think with Kylian Mbappe, actually, like I mean, we can see at least in this game as well. I think he was the person who wanted to make a lot of happen, as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I do think, like anyone who's forget about the stats. If you watched football, you still know that Kylian Mbappe is still not at the level that he should be. He
Mm.
scored goals here and there, but like
Yeah.
if you watch the game, you do know that like Kylian Mbappe is not there yet. I mean, as you always say, the eye test.
But would you think recently, at least in the last few games, it's kind of switched. There was a role reversal. I know Vinicius still had a lot to say this game, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, he was in my opinion exceptional again. Some of his passing again, came to the
yeah,
forefront. But
yeah. True.
do you think there was a role reversal where Vinicius kind of dipped and Mbappe took his mantle?
Yeah, I definitely see that. I'm definitely seeing that. But again, the
Mm.
thing with Vinicius Junior is that we know him is that like
Yeah.
he has made a name as the ultimate big game player. You
Mm.
understand? And
Hmm.
this is something that at least Kylian Mbappe is still new in this team, so we can't say what it's going to be like or not. You understand? But
Right.
until
Right.
unless we reach those, those ultimate big games and we see he show up, big time as Vinicius has done consistently over the
Yeah.
past 3 years,
Yeah.
then until and unless then I would not, like absolutely look at this, and say like, okay, there's been a role reversal. Of course, like there's been an upturn in form
Mm.
from Kylian Mbappe, but let's not forget like Vini also has been doing stupid things, getting sent off and being back and out in and out of the team as also, there's also
Yeah.
lack of continuity as well.
I do think, for us to survive in the biggest of games, I do think these two guys need to be performing at their very, very optimal best, firing on all cylinders. Because
True.
you know, these games where one takes an afternoon stroll and the other turns it on, and vice versa every other week is it's starting to worry me. These guys needs to like Jude Bellingham, who is basically on it every game. I just expect these two to be, in the thick of things, to be honest. But yeah, Mbappe again. I just liked his determination. If you remember, for the Gola goal that was eventually ruled offside, his pass into Vinny is just, brilliant. I know it looks easy, but to do that, to time it, I know it wasn't timed to perfection, but it was just a hair's breadth away from being onside, and we could have we could be looking at a post match that uh, would have happened an hour earlier. But yeah, Mbappe out of the way. What else? Lunin had a few shaky moments. I have no idea why he dropped the ball after the save. Um, but still had a couple of decent saves. I remember, the tip over the bar, the long shot. I don't remember who it was from, but pretty decent from
Yeah,
Lunin.
but he considered a penalty. Fortunately for him, the ref, didn't
On
give.
on 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 first glance, I was unsure, but on the replays, Farouk, that's a clear pen. My goodness, I
Yeah,
have
I
no
mean
idea
that's the
how
thing.
they
That's
how
I
they
don't know what the VR was seen or not seen, but anyways,
mm,
I mean it is what it is anyway.
they completely botched that thing. Like um, if you're a Celta fan and you're watching that, I mean, how on earth do you walk away from this game thinking you weren't robbed, right, Farouk? Even if the scoreline was 5-2, right? I guess Endrick. I think Farouk quickly. Um, lot to
Yeah,
lot to be
actually,
desired, with his
exactly.
overall build up play and whatnot. But um, he has a lethal left foot.
Exactly. That's the thing, as you rightly said, like, honestly, I also was thinking, like, yeah, okay, we need to score a goal now, and Endrick is on. Who do we need to take off, and like, to bring on
Mm,
Rodrigo? Honestly, I didn't want to take off Vinicius, but I don't know who else could be off. And I was like, okay, do you take off Endrick now? You just brought him up, and then you take him off again. That's going to be quite embarrassing. But because I just, as you said, like, he literally was almost hiding, you would say, you
yeah,
know, and
yeah,
uh, and you could even see for the first goal, it was like I'm saying like verticality. It was a vertical pass from Arda Güler, which almost like forced Endrick to make a decision quickly.
Mhm.
You understand? And as
Mhm.
you,
Yeah.
of course, we know, like we've seen, I think this is the third goal he scored in this fashion. I think against Atalanta was one of them, which was always a very, a venomous goal. I think there was one again in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. Atalanta was a Super Cup. I think there was one in the Champions League as well, if I'm not mistaken, something similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, this goal as well. So, like, he has that left foot. But again, one thing we have to put here, we have to talk about is the fact that this guy is rusty.
Mm.
He hasn't gotten a lot of game time. So because of this, you can't expect him to come in. Arda
Are
came on
you
and literally took the game by
right?
the scruff of the neck. You understand, right?
Right.
But for
Yeah.
Endrick, you could see like there's a lot of hiding here and there. But
Mm.
eventually, when he got the goal, like he kind of like got some confidence. I would say like got lifted over his shoulder. But like
Yeah.
that goal was a well taken goal. Honestly, it was indeed the goal of, I would say, I don't want to use I mean, a poacher's goal is like tapping more or less, but like it shows like, okay, this guy knows where the post is. It
Mm. Mm.
shows that, okay, this guy is is a good scorer of great
I'm
goals.
pretty sure the keeper didn't see that coming. It
Exactly.
was
That's why I
past
felt like
him by the time he.
it was like
Yeah.
a kind of like rushed shot, like. And but the point is,
Mm.
the ability to be able to put the venom and the accuracy to that, even in the
Yeah.
just in the blink of an eye, says shows that, yeah, there is actually something there. Maybe just needs a bit of time and polish, to be able to see eventually the
A
quality and
bit
the
of
talent.
Adriano, a bit of Cristiano, and all those kind of lethal finishers in terms of the power in the shot. It just is something extraordinary. Um, Talking about power, Fede Valverde, another throwback, man. This guy, Farouk, no matter what happens to the side. I mean, again, these guys should be jailed for not giving, Fede enough time to rest. Like, I've no idea why guys like Jude and Fede have to come and save this team against, struggling Celta side with their backup keeper in goal. It- like, this team really needs to have some self reflection after what they do to some of their top performances. Top performers week in week out. They just completely uh, disappoint them basically because Fede has no business being on the pitch, right?
Yep, I
We
agree.
have a midweek game again next week, and the quarterfinal is going to be right before the El Derby as well, apparently, like as per Madrid Extra. So, um, but yeah, like that aside, a Fede goal, Farouk.
Yeah, man, he was a phenomenal goal, man. Honestly, like he does what he does, man. That's the thing. Like with Federico
Mm,
Valverde, you never get half or it's always full throttle, man. Honestly, and that guy has what a feat, man. Honestly, what a feat, and that
yeah.
that guy have honestly, like even I was watching with Italian commentary, and the guy kept talking about Federico's food, and I was like, okay, maybe this guy has some food fetish or some shit like that. Yeah,
But
man.
how can you not, right? After watching this man score banger after banger after
Exactly,
banger,
man. That's the thing. Like, I
Farouk.
mean, for him, it seems like it's easier to score this kind of goals than actually to score normal goals, man. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the
I
last
don't
time
think
he
he
scored
can
a normal
score
goal.
a goal from inside the box. The only
Exactly.
time I've seen him do it is probably against Barcelona, or was it at the edge of the box? I think even that was outside the box in the Super Copa, I believe, a couple of
Yeah.
years ago. But yeah, but Valverde, proper throwback. I mean, the satisfaction of watching, these long rangers, go in. I mean, the defenses, if Fede is given the freedom, I'm pretty sure he is. They're gonna be really, really nervous about pressing him, because they would, I mean, not pressing him, sorry, they would be thinking twice about giving him enough space to
No space. Yeah, yeah.
latch on up. Yeah, so yeah, man, Fede, all the love in the world, but yeah, he should be getting rest at this point. But I guess that's pretty much it, man. We discussed all of the shite. Let me run through a few of the comments, Farouk, if you let me quickly.
Sure.
um Ashik was mentioning our first goal shouldn't have counted. We got away with that one. That was a penalty for Celta. Even a fucking blind guy would see it. Wake Up Mo, he was on the chat, he was mentioning another match, another wake-up call. The wake-up call subscription being put to good use. Yeah, I think we have just upgraded our wake-up call subscription, to the premium tier, because we are not just satisfied with regular television. We just need some exclusives at this point. That's why we shit the bed against Celta in a Copa del Rey game at home. If this was the Balaidos, like what Farooq said, this could have gone south. And if it was the Balaidos, I would understand, right? It is a difficult place to go, but come on, man, at home. Yeah, Ashik was mentioning this match confirmed that the team hit the snooze button after the Clásico, so that the boys can. I'm not going to say that, but yeah, probably Farooq. They have to relieve themselves sometimes. Farooq. I mean, Ashik has a point. She was also mentioning 5-2 scoreline looks oddly familiar. If we get Barcelona, then we'll get humiliated again, which is now a routine. And then we're going to sound like losers saying Copa del Rey doesn't matter. I don't know. Right. Archie was mentioning Carlitos, a lack of trust in Arda. Endrick is the reason these boys are lost in the pitch. Arda takes control of the match once he's on for a few minutes, but Carlo trusts Rodrigo more. Arda, I have no idea why, especially after the performance he had against Minera in the round of 32, he should be starting this game. I have no idea. I have no idea why he isn't. But, I guess Carlo has to play some of the seniors, like Brahim. And by the way, Brahim again had a crucial assist. Looked decent, nothing out of the world, but, was effective. I'm happy. Right, Ashik was mentioning if we get Atletico next round, we'll get taken out at this rate. Osasuna can take us out. Osasuna bet Bilbao at the San Mames.
Man, I think any away fixture, man. Any away fixture the way we are playing, man. I really don't. It doesn't really matter who it is. It can even be, Rayo, whatever. Like it's gonna be really difficult. Honestly, I don't know which teams are left. But I don't know. Like, let's come Madrid is there, Barcelona is there, Bilbao is there. So like,
Getafe is there, Espanyol is there. Yeah.
If we get an away fixture, man, like it's gonna be super difficult. Super difficult.
Osasuna also shocked Bilbao. I didn't expect them to knock them out. And you should go watch Budimir's goal, Farooq. He chipped it over a goalkeeper that is on the floor. The audacity of that guy. But yeah, at the San Mames as well. Osasuna took the lead 2-0. Bilbao came back 2-2, and then Budimir scored this, I think, 5 minutes from full time or some shit. But yeah, I mean, at this rate, like you guys are saying, it's peak for us. Right. Ashi was also commenting about Vinny's mourning. I mean, that's not the attitude we need. He says that's when we need our best player to stay composed. Right. Yeah, he was also mentioning, I am afraid if Carlo would bench Sensio for the pen and place a Bios at centre back, can't put it past him, and Kama is on a roll. Yeah, Carlo doesn't take lightly to fuck ups, especially big ones. But yes, big up Ala Madrid says Scott, big up Scott Heinem, always. Ashik was mentioning time to bring Jose Mourinho back to fix that defense and split the dressing room, then we'll fire him. Yeah, that's apparently why we never really entertained the idea. Get him back. Pick up Dennis, he was mentioning Farooq, I agreed the season before when we only won the Copa del Rey, it wasn't this bad. Right. Ashik was mentioning, don't worry guys, we'll hold out to sign Trent and Davis in the summer, two of the most defensively reliable fullbacks in the world. Carlo wants signings in January, club won't or will not. Right. Ashik was saying, Sunay, thank you. Why was Vasquez starting when it was a great opportunity to start an academy player, or when we were coasting it to bring on an academy player at right back? What is he on about? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Lucas Vasquez deserves better. And Carlo deserves better because he is someone who has 30 years of dealing with shit like this. So I have no idea. Like it's completely shocking to watch, all this unfold. But yeah, Right. Arda's corners are bloody dangerous. They are measured and causes problems on a consistent basis. Imagine Arda taking corners with one of Benzema, Ramos, or Cristiano to finish them. Right. Um, he also pointed out Mbappe's pass to Vidi for the other goal wasn't apparently a pass. It was deflected. Yeah, my stream was in and out, so probably I would have kind of mistaken it for a pass. But nevertheless, he mentions, Mbappe's pass to Brahim on Vini's goal was brilliant. Yeah, 100%. He
Yeah.
basically created that situation all by himself. Um, Ashok was mentioning no one can blame Jude today. He was a diva on the field during fuck ups. I mean, also him getting playtime again, another big criminal offense. Mr. Fortress says we are screwed this season mid-Jan and leaking goals like yeah, that's pretty fucking racist. Fortress. Moon was mentioning, please do something about Vasquez. I can't watch him anymore. Please, Carlo, try anyone from the academy. Right. Bernabeu has gone soft, says Mr. Fortress. Team should have been booed from the start to finish, regardless of whether we won or not today. That's general life and football culture is just a reality. It's just a reflection of what we see in our daily lives. It isn't much far away from it. People are not going to be bringing out the white handkerchiefs yet, but at this rate, it's a matter of when and not if. Ashik says that's okay. If we get Barca or Atletico, we don't need to play away. We'll get battered at home. That's it. But yeah, boys, Farouk, anything left to say for you quickly? We
Yeah,
play
I mean,
Las
I
Palmas
mean,
early kickoff Sunday.
yeah, hopefully, like we don't go through, another shitty game as such.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do hope, we can, get the boys into some confidence as well again, get to play at least a stress-free game, and
Yeah.
hopefully, get the job done without too much headache.
No Vinny, by the way. So it's going to be interesting again. Who is going to turn up with the individual brilliance to keep the La Liga hunt alive? Because another fuck up, I don't know what the repercussions would be. Come the end of the season, we absolutely need to win it. Copa del Rey, it isn't anything of significance, at least for 99% of us. It's just the matter of how we are gauging what to look forward to in the Champions League knockouts, especially. That is if we make it. I hope we do. I really hope we do. This is my sole solace in life. My team. I hope they continue to bring us happiness, and these guys just get their act together finally. But yeah, big up everyone tuning in. Big up our sponsors. LBR20 on Manscaped. Go check them out to get 20% off and free shipping. Go check out Fanatics, official partners of La Liga and Real Madrid. Make sure you use our affiliated link in the description below. Go check out Talksport, the biggest sports radio station in the world. Go show their social some love. We are officially powered by the Talksport Fan Network. Yeah, boys. Until next time. Ala Madrid.
Madrid.